if you want to live abroad and that's like the mindset you have, I'm sorry to say, but you're gonna have a really difficult time.
Friends and finding people for you is so important no matter what.
You are gonna feel alone. You are gonna feel depressed, anxiety. You are gonna miss home.
Having one friend is always better than having a whole bunch of friends who aren't necessarily good.
For someone who has social anxiety, first day, what's your advice to them? I am Mahdia.
And I'm Avani.
That's where I got closer to my person.
Oh, my person and
And
I met on Roblox.
I can't wait to get into that. When we mean finding your person, we don't mean romantically. We mean more of like a Christina Yang, Meredith Grey type situation. Do you watch Grey's Anatomy? Any
No, I
Do you know
don't.
anything about it? No, really? Damn. None of your
Mm,
friends? In Grey's Anatomy, there are these two best friends, and they're like, I think they honestly created the phrase "my person." Grey's Anatomy is so
Wait,
old. I
I think
think
I've
over 20
heard.
years
I
old.
think I've heard of the two. Maybe I have.
I'm
I don't
sure you've heard
remember.
of Derek Shepherd and Meredith. I'm sure you've heard of the love, the
I think I
couple.
have.
Yeah, you know the pick
Maybe I
me,
think I
choose
have.
me, love me. That came from Grey's Anatomy.
Yes, I
Yes,
use that all the time
yes.
with my best
Oh, what
friend. Oh
do
my
you use that all the time?
It was like, pick me, choose me, love me. Every time she brings up someone new, and I'm like, me, not them.
Ah, so then you see, you're already in the Grey's Anatomy. You got your person, you got your Grey's Anatomy quote, phrase.
Exactly. Like, I'm like a pro.
So you met your person on Roblox, huh? That's very 21st century Gen Z esque
Yes.
type way. Tell me.
Okay, do you want the long story short or the short story long?
Short story. Wait, what? Long story short,
So
long
basically,
story short, long story short, long story short. Get like the main
long story.
bits, the key.
Yeah. Okay. So, um, basically, it's like really odd, but she was like trolling somebody on Roblox, and she was pretending to be a guy. But then I end up befriending her, and then text her for a while, and in the end what happens is I end up becoming best friends with her, and we end up staying friends, and that person, we don't like her anymore. But that's another story, right? We have our
Yo,
reasons.
that's so similar to mine as well.
And now we're like besties, and like we figured out that we live really close to each other as well. Like we're like, what, 40 minutes away from each other to an hour. So we actually get
Oh,
to see
that's
each other a lot
absolutely
more than a
amazing.
lot more other long distance friends, which I really like, but I also miss her so much right now. So yeah.
Damn. Okay, at least you guys live in the same country. I am being ripped away from my person. It's so dreadful.
Tell
I
us about
met
your
my
person.
person. Mine is the old-fashioned way, in
Oh, of
school.
course. Yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah, of course.
yeah, she is actually she's 2 years older than me. She's 20. But
Oh, wow.
she was in my class because she took a gap year
Mm,
and a whole bunch of stuff. I still remember the first
mm.
time I saw her. I have a thing. Do you know what a friend crush is? Do you believe in
Yes.
friend crushes? Yes, thank you.
Yes.
I
Yes.
developed a friend crush on her, and people think that's so weird, but it's really not. It's really
No, no, no,
not.
it's normal. Trust me, it's normal.
When I met her, she was 18, so I'm 18 now. When I met her, she was
Mm,
18 and I was 16, and she like walked
mm.
in to the sports hall and she was like all energetic and extroverted and like saying hi to the teachers, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, she seems so nice. She seems like so kind and such a good person." And then we became friends, but she was closer. We were a group of three girls. It's always
Mm.
the triplet
Yeah.
friend
It's
group,
always a trio.
and we became then another girl came into the group and we became a group of four. But then things happened, we fell out
Yeah.
of connection with the other two girls, and then we became so unbelievably close in the shortest amount of time. And I'm realizing now that I said it
Mm.
out loud, all of my people, because in every country I go, I sort of develop like that best friendish. all of them I got extremely close like within 6 months, and then like
Oh,
we have to say
wow.
goodbye to each other, which is kind of sad, but repetitive. Yeah. And now she's gone.
Yeah. We got close really, really quickly too. I felt like we had so much in common and had so many like similarities in our life stories, and we still do. And no matter how much we might like not be able to talk every day or every single second, she's still like my person, and I know I can turn to her if I need, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like one of the reasons why we got so close was because we are really different. I'm South African, she's Filipino, I'm Muslim, she's Christian. Like, she's 20, I'm 18. But I feel like within all of those differences, there were so many similarities that just pulled us together. Also, like, I feel like the way we were raised, and I don't think this is talked about that much because a lot of the time it is a bit of a stereotype of like the way you're raised, but we were also raised very similar with like the same mindsets, with the same outlook on the world, on the way we treat
Mm,
people, on the way that we view people. And so that's why like we connected so well, because we understood each
mm.
other so well. Yeah.
I feel like something that like made us connect really quickly was the fact that again we had so many things similar, so many similarities in life, and I just really liked how like how she's like so she doesn't judge me at all, which I really like. Like having someone like that is so valuable in your life, someone who doesn't judge you no matter what, and they're just like unconditional. They unconditionally love you. Like I don't know, I've always found that with other people, it's always been like a, "Oh, but, like, if I don't do something for them, it's not going to, like they're not gonna be happy with me." But with her, it's like, I don't have to give my 100% for her to give me her 100%, and she doesn't have to give me her 100% for me to give my 100% to
Yeah,
her, you
there's
know? Like,
mutual
we know
understanding.
yeah, we know
Yeah.
when the other person needs more support and, like, stuff like that, which I really like about her.
Yeah, that's one of the things I think that stood out when I like met her for the first couple of times, is that she, like, without even asking, would do these things that like when someone doesn't do something you think about, oh, it would have been nice if that person did do that thing, and she like immediately
Yeah.
would do all of those things like without asking, without
Yeah.
needing to gesture in any way. It's like she just knew the type of person that I was automatically and what was like work for the both of us. I feel like there's not enough emphasis on these type of friendships, you know. Everybody focuses, I think, especially now as teenagers, everybody focuses so much more on romance and finding that person romantically, and I feel like they're not focusing enough on their friendships. You know, it's fine if your person is romantic, but that's not the only place you can find this type of love. That's not the only place you can find the comfort that you may find in those type of relationships, you know.
Yeah. Your comfort could be like Austin here, you know?
Austin, why is his name Austin? Austin
I
and
don't know.
Allie who?
Austin the avocado.
Whenever I think of Austin, the only person I'll think of is Austin and Allie. I don't even know if you know what that is. You're 15.
I have no idea
You
what that
don't know
is.
what that is? Are you serious? I thought you were gonna be like, yeah, I know Disney Channel, Austin. Oh my gosh.
No. I never watched Disney Channel, I'm so sorry.
What do you
I
watch
was an
then? What do you
Octonauts kid. I used to watch Octonauts, Peppa Pig, Sesame Street,
Okay,
Manchester
but like
Hotel.
in your like okay, but you were like 13 2 years ago, so you have Netflix. Oh my, when you were like eight,
No, I didn't watch
9,
Netflix.
10.
When I was 8, 9, 10, I was watching, like, ABC Kids, which is our local channel, right? And they
Yeah.
used to play, like, what do you call it? Peppa Pig, Ben and Holly's Little Kingdom. I don't know if anybody knows that.
No, I know Ben is. Oh, I love Ben and
You
Holly.
don't know?
I love Ben and Holly's Little
Yeah.
Kingdom.
And then at 13, I stopped watching TV because then I got my devices, right? So I just had, like, access to YouTube.
Ah, okay. There's so much benefit in finding that person. You know, it's such a mental health reliever, and it does just wonders for you.
I agree. I was actually in a really bad state before, well, um, I guess before I met my best friend. And something that helped me was such a strong community, and my best friend was actually really supportive in helping me out of that place, and, I'm really thankful for that, actually. And I think it's so important to have a person for you for, like, things like loneliness as well, because you never feel like you're alone then, you've always got someone to lean back on if you need to.
Yeah, and they always there to kind of act as like an emotional regulator and a bit of a stress buffer. For me, we were in the same school, seeing each other every single day. I was very lucky for that, but we only truly got closer once we sort of broke off, like our other friends. Not that that's a good thing, but everything happens for a reason. And obviously, losing those friends was so devastating and so sad. But in that process, you gain such a long lasting friendship, which now I truly believe that this friendship is going to last so much longer than it would have if we would have stayed in that friend group. But the amount of academic stress and family stress that happens, and having that person who completely understands, doesn't judge you whatsoever at all, it helps in every single aspect of life, because all of a sudden I'm able to regulate how to get through school. If I get home and I feel overwhelmed, they're always like a call away. It's so calming, and it just helps you feel so much less overwhelmed.
Yeah, the amount of times I've called up my best friend and just like sat on call, whether it was to vent or whether it was just to have a conversation, and after the call, I've left feeling so much better than before, is like, I can't even count it.
And this is so important. As an international student, working and trying to find that group of friends is going to help you so much more than your family, so much more than you think you can help yourself in the process of moving to a completely different place, living in a completely different, oh my gosh, environment with unfamiliar people, unfamiliar places. the I can't express how amazing it is to have that group of friends, and within those group of friends to have that one friend that is going to be with you throughout your entire international student career or life.
As an immigrant student, if you are an immigrant student, it's kind of like similar to an international student, but not necessarily, because you don't even usually, okay, for me, I moved at such a young age that I don't have that connection with my cousins, no matter how much I want to. It's like, because of the fact that we're in different countries, it's harder to keep in touch, especially when we didn't even grow up together. So, friends and finding people for you is so important no matter what. And even though your family is so important too, you need friends to be able to live your life without feeling the burden of life as often as you like would if you didn't have people to talk to. And your family might not always be someone you can talk to. And I'm not saying family isn't someone you should talk to, but some things you would rather talk to a friend about than your family.
Having this type of friendship as an international student is also just, this is one of the only people who truly knows what you are going through. They are going to the same classes as you, they are experiencing the same things as you. And if they're not, like, I was lucky enough to where this friend of mine lived here in Malaysia for a while. So instead of having this person that we would experience everything for the first time together, I had a guide, I had someone to show me around, to show me the best places to eat, and just make it feel more homey. Being an international student can be so lonely, even if you are surrounded by family. I'm lucky that I have my mom and my brother here, but there are certain experiences that are going to happen to you, that you're going to go through, that they're not going to understand, especially if you are moving away from your family. They are call away. Yes, they're always going to be there for you. They're always going to love you and support you through everything, but they're not there. They are not next to you. And I feel like the connection you make with someone face to face and physically, because yeah, being online, can work, but having that person physically is gonna help you get through this unbelievable life change. which you are facing stress from every single area of your life. You're feeling pressure from your family, from within yourself, from within the school, you know.
I don't know about any of like other people, but I've always found that even if I'm just having a bad day, like a hug from my best friend, or even like a bad set of months, a hug from my best friend has lifted my mood up, and just spending a day with her, like no matter what's happened, I can just be with around her or be with her, and like that connection that we have and that time we spend together just lifts my mood up like by so much.
Yeah, there have been times when I, walk into school, whether it's exam day, whether it's just a normal presentation, and you're a bit angsty, your anxiety is up, you're nervous, you are alone. You have your friends, but at the end of the day, when you are an international student, you are alone. And you walk in and you see their face, and they give you a big hug. And the stress just melts away. It helps you. It feels like family. That's the thing. It completely feels like family. Especially, I think, for uni specifically, it's not like high school. You don't know everyone in your class, you don't know everyone who is in your lecture hall. And so while you see them every day, they are still strangers to you. And so when you have that person, you're going to feel so much more at home, and you're going to enjoy your time there. And that place will become your home. She's one of the reasons why Malaysia has become my home, is because she has helped me see it from her eyes and her lifestyle, and has made me feel welcome.
I feel like I have also changed so much because of my best friend. I found that like a lot of the ways that I react to something, or might like, I guess, yeah, react to something. I don't really know where I'm going with that, but has changed because of what like she's taught me. And I don't know. I've like morphed into a little bit of her. Like she's rubbed off on me. A lot of people say that, but when you
Yes,
spend
yes,
so much time with someone or talk to someone for so long, you start adopting stuff that they do, whether it's like
exactly. Yeah,
phrases or whether it's like the style of speaking. And she's done
yeah.
that so much for me. And my
I
thinking
call it,
process has been so different. I've been more
I call it
carefree and
the
more like,
effect.
you only live once. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I always say, and I've been telling my parents, and I've been telling her herself, like she's just had this effect on me, especially because she's older. I think, in a way, I do look up to her.
Mm.
But like the way that she dresses, the way that she presents herself is like something that I would have never considered. She's instilled this type of confidence in me, which I think everyone in my family and like anyone who knows me truly is shocked about. I, growing up, wasn't really a dressy girl. I grew up with brothers, and the way that she's rubbed off on me now to make me like just a better version of myself, amazing. It's truly amazing. And for the better also.
Yeah.
For the better.
Yeah. I don't think she realizes it, but even just like the way she acts, it's like so much like you do only live once and you really do have to enjoy life. And that's one of the biggest things I've learned from her. It's like you can't wait and fear and not do anything just because you're scared. You have to like actually step out and do things. And I don't know, she doesn't realize it. I don't think I've ever told her. I might go tell her after this.
You should
But
definitely tell her.
yeah, I will be telling her. But yeah, she has this like attitude where she's just like she doesn't care what people think, or like she doesn't care about what she's going to do. She just does it. And then okay, sometimes it isn't the best and I lecture her about it. But yeah, it's like put that confidence in me that like I can do stuff and not have to worry about the consequences all the time. Like some of the consequences are just in my brain. I used to have really bad social anxiety, and she's helped me through that so much that now it's so much better.
Oh my gosh, really? So no way you've had social anxiety. Oh my days. You
I
should
was
tell her
I,
that
I
too.
had crippling anxiety.
No, you seem like such an extrovert. Genuinely. Hats off to her. I feel like how and when you meet this person, and I know we're putting so much drama on the phrase this person, but like truly, I think they deserve the title of being your person, of being this super
Mhm,
important person. Um,
mhm.
Honestly, you cannot predict when you're going to meet them, how you're going to meet them. You met them on Roblox. I met them
Mhm.
on a normal school, first day of school type basis. But like, the fact that you met them on Roblox and like they've had such a toll on your life, honestly, there's no bigger contrast I can make that you literally can find that person absolutely anywhere and absolutely everywhere. So if you haven't found them, then like it's okay. They will come in time. Like I
Hop on
said, she
Roblox.
wasn't
Just hop on Roblox.
I knew her for, I think, an entire year, like before I realized how valuable she was in my life. And then she grew to become such an amazing friend to me, such amazing family to me. And unfortunately, now she is gone back to the Philippines, and I am, because we graduated, I am going back to South Africa. But the 6 months that I've had with her, where we were both aware of the powerful friendship that we had with each other. The best friendship 6 months I have ever had. And I don't think, and I hope I'll be able to find someone who I am able to do those things and feel that way with again. But like the last person that I had, my last sort of best friend that I had was, I met her when I was 12, I think. But only 6 months before I ended up leaving Brunei, we became so close. She's Egyptian. We just clicked, we bonded, anything and everything the way that you describe your how you became that person with your person. We did everything, the sleepovers, the late nights, the anything under the sun, but only in 6 months.
But I do
It's
want to hear about how you do manage your friendships for so long as an international student.
Oh my days. Time zones, my biggest enemy. It is so difficult keeping contact with friends and just family, and like we could do an entire episode on like being emotionally in like three different time zones. There's a lot that you
Mhm,
can do, honestly, with online friendships, and it truly just depends on how much effort you're willing to put. But
mhm.
like also some friendships they just work. You know, the
Yeah,
universe wants it to
yeah.
work. That's I don't know how else to put it. You can say that, sometimes you grow apart with friends and it's normal, it's natural. Like that's like, you know, you had a specific time with them and that was it. But with other friends, it just works. For me anyways, one of the scariest parts of being an international student is losing those friendships with not even just everyone, with that one specific person. It's so scary to be so emotionally involved and put so much effort into this relationship between you and this person, and then not see them for absolute years. I don't know when I'm gonna see my Filipino friend next. We hopefully will still keep so close, but it's such a draining thing to feel, and you just have to have trust, and you have to communicate with them. Oh my gosh, communicate with your friends even when you are moving from one country to another to start your international student journey. The friends that you have in your first country that you're moving from, communicate with them, talk to them, tell them what you are hoping for out of the friendship. Because if you don't, you're gonna move. Your guys are barely gonna text. Like especially if you don't have like a sort of online relationship before you move. And the friendship is just gonna be lost, and then you're gonna find each other in a few years and be like, oh damn, we should have spoke about this. We could have like kept contact. But like try your best, like make those relationships deep. Just because it's a friendship, just because you're moving, that doesn't mean that the friendship has to end. That doesn't mean that that's goodbye. Put in a bit of effort. I've seen so many people like now in an international school, people are leaving and they're like, okay, bye, like I'll talk to you whenever. Like no, put in effort. Just because you're leaving, that does not mean the friendship has to die. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden we become strangers just because what I'm not in the same country. If you have that mentality as an international student, or if you want to live abroad and that's like the mindset you have, I'm sorry to say, but you're going to have a really difficult time with friends and family, because I feel like you also need to have these conversations with your family. Tell them the time difference, tell them what time zone you are at, tell them your schedule, share as much as you can and try and speak as much as you can. Yes, there's going to be some days, some months where you speak less than others, but like truly, if you don't try, it's not going to work. And if you try and it doesn't work, then that's the universe telling you that that friendship is, over, like that they served you what you were meant to learn and gain from them. But like effort is like, and I'm gonna get heated because the amount of people this year who have been like, okay, but like you're moving, so and I'm like, so what? What's your excuse, dude? You can still call me, text me, still talking, like we're still friends.
Friendship is always one of those two-way streets, and if the other person doesn't meet you halfway, then it's really hard. And if they're going to meet you halfway, then you should meet them halfway. And if you're going to meet them halfway but they aren't willing to, then have that conversation at least. um, because you never know whether that friendship will last you a lifetime or not. You'd rather it last you a lifetime than it not, especially as an international student.
I feel like as you being the international student, unfortunately, you're gonna have to put so much more effort than them. But you are the one leaving. That okay, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to put more effort. But it's like you need to make it work, because these friendships that you keep, whether it's online, when you are moving, they are going to be so beneficial and they're going to help you in the toughest of times. You are going to feel alone. You are going to feel depressed, anxiety. You are going to miss home. And if you don't make sure that these people at least try and stay in your life, then you're going to find it really difficult.
So obviously, like a lot of people wouldn't have their person yet, and that's totally okay. Like everything takes time, and everything takes like it depends on where you are at that time. I've gone through so many different persons in my life that like it's like a that person in that moment kind of thing. It can be a that person over a long amount of time, or it can be a that person for that one particular thing. But either way, like it's going to take time and it's not just going to happen like that, obviously. And you can only do so much to try and find that person.
As soon as you move, you're not gonna. Some people find that instant connection, some people find that instant friendship that they are lucky enough for it to last, the long haul. But some people don't. It takes a while. The best thing that I would say is you have to put yourself out there. You can't expect them to just come to you. I know it sounds like work, like why am I trying so hard to like find these friends, but it's like if you don't put yourself out there, you're not gonna get anywhere, you know you have
Even
to
if
put
like
one
they
foot.
have other friends, like even if they do have other friends, still insert yourself. Obviously without bothering them too much. Like
Yeah.
if they're obviously not comfortable with you around, then don't put your own self-respect down. But yeah, it's a matter of you even like going up to someone and starting the conversation, even if they do have other friends or something. And you never know who's going to be that person for you. Like, you might as well just take the chance and see who it might be, then not.
Yeah, like you're in this new school, you in this new country, go up and talk to people. The worst that will happen is they say no. The worst that will happen is they're like, oh no, I'm sorry. Like nobody's gonna scream out of the top of their lungs, oh my gosh, ew, I don't want to talk to you. Like, you know what I mean? People are
Even
not.
if they do that, it'll pass by. Like, it's not, it's temporary. Even if they scream that, no one is going to like hold that up against you for the rest
Yeah,
of your
yeah,
life. And if they do that, another person might come up to you instead and say, "Oh, I'm so sorry they said that. That was so rude. Do you want to be my friend
exactly.
instead?"
Yeah.
There's
And most
always
people are going
upsides.
through the same thing. One of the best parts about being an international student is that once you move, you're around other international students. This isn't home. It's not people who don't have the same experiences as you. You are around these people who are moving like you, who have said goodbye to their friends and family like you, especially if it's like, if they're in your class, if it's like the same year, you're starting your bachelor's together, they are probably thinking the same thing. Oh my gosh, I don't know anyone. So many people. I see groups of people who seem to already found your friends. don't get intimidated by the groups of people that you see, because for all you know, one of those people was alone 5 minutes ago and just joined the conversation. So just, you have to put yourself out there, and if you don't, then you're not going to find the friendships.
Another thing is if you're an international student, get involved in, especially for universities, get involved in clubs because you obviously don't talk to everybody in your lectures, right? But if you go to a club, then you find people with similar interests to you. And something I've heard from a lot of my friends who are in university is stepping out into clubs, going to places that you like, has helped them find their group of people because finding
Exactly,
people with similar
exactly.
mindsets to you is so helpful when you're building foundations for friendships.
Yeah, the best way to connect with a person is by finding a similar base, by finding something that you guys both like and you can both talk about. There's no use going up to someone and talking to them about something completely unrelated to what they're doing or what they like. So by going to clubs, you're literally going to a place, whether it's like, what are clubs? What type of clubs are there?
A Roblox club.
Yeah, whether, okay, yeah, sure. Whether it's like, if you are going to a Roblox club, you are literally going to be surrounded by people who play and like Roblox as well. So you already have common ground. You already have an easy conversation starter. You know, that's great
You
advice,
can just
Avani.
talk about the
Best way.
plants that you found in Grow a Garden, and like you can talk about your net worth in Grow a Garden. Like
I
there's
don't know
so
what
much
any
you
of
can
that
talk about.
means.
It's a game on Roblox that's trending right now. Grow Garden.
Even like joining the clubs, you're putting yourself out there. You can't decide, okay, I'm going to be an international student, I'm going to go to this new university, to this new country. You can't go in having a closed mind about people. You can't go into wanting to be an international student with having that mindset of, oh, I can't talk, I can't. You cannot have the mindset of I can't. Avani, I don't necessarily think I have that bad social anxiety, so you should tell
I
me.
have
I don't
it
want to
really
I don't
bad.
want to misinterpret anything of what it's actually like to have social anxiety. So
Yeah.
like, for someone
Okay.
who
So
does have social anxiety and they join new university first day and they need to put themselves out there, because a few things that I've interviewed a few university students, one of the things that they've told me is you have to put yourself out there on the first day, because the first day is
mhm,
where all the relationships are being formed, all the friend groups, all the friendships. That's where people are looking for other friendships, for other classmates, So
yeah.
for someone who has social
Okay.
anxiety, first day, what's your advice to them?
If you do have social anxiety, obviously there's that giant hurl of thoughts, that cloud over your head that's just telling you that everyone's judging you, everyone is looking at you. But keep in mind that everybody there, it's their first time too. So they're not going to have the mental capacity to be thinking about how you're acting or how you're like dressed or how you're going to start up a conversation. They're thinking about themselves. They're having the same social anxiety that you are having at that same moment, and once you speak out, you realize that it's not as bad. You just need to get through that barrier of speaking out the first time. Obviously, it's really, really hard. I get that 100%. But even if you make one friend that day, it's better to go around with that friend and make other friendships, or even just have that one friend than like walking away feeling even more disappointed with yourself than in the first place. It's so important that if you do have social anxiety, you don't let it take over yourself because you want to be able to still live your life. You don't want it to live your life for you. Um, Obviously, it's really hard to push away the thoughts if they're coming straight to your mind, but just take like a moment to breathe, have a sip of water, look for like, it's so wrong to say, but easy targets, like people who are alone as well that
Oh, yeah, that's true. Look for someone who has more of like a friendly face, someone who looks like they're interacting with more
yeah.
people, and wouldn't mind that you.
Anyone you think would be comfortable around, go up to them instead. You don't have to go up to the big crowd in the first place. You can go to that person who is standing alone in a duo. That's how I usually make friends, right? I go up to one person, I just be like, oh my god, I love your top, oh my god, I love your shoes. Just compliment them, get into the
Yes,
flow
that's
of just
that's
talking about
I
them.
think that's
Is
one
this
of the
your
best
first time?
ways.
Are you an international student? Ask about them, and then just get into that conversation, and before you know it, you've got a friend.
Yeah, I think one of the best ways is to compliment someone. The best ways, best first impressions, compliment them, Ask them a semi personal question. I know university, always the first question is, oh, what's your major? Blah, blah. If you are hoping, if you have that kind of social anxiety and maybe you don't want to go up to like 10 people, or even just 5 people, the best thing to do is make a good first impression on like 1 or 2 people. Don't ask the boring same questions that everybody asks. Oh, where are you from? What's your major? Blah blah. Ask something a bit more personal. Observe and see what's the
Just be
best
like,
type of conversation
"Where's
starter.
your bag from? I really like your bag. I really
Yeah, even
like
if you
that
don't like their
color."
bag, even if you don't like their bag, if you look at their bag and you're like, damn, that bag looks kind of strange. I've never seen it in my life. It's fine. Go up, be like, your bag is so cool. Like, where did you get it? It's anything. It'll be
Yeah.
something you laugh at later in the friendship.
Mhm. Exactly. Or you could just be like, "Oh my god, I love your haircut. What kind of haircut is that?" I'm like, make something up if you need to. Just like observe something about them, look at how they're like acting, be like, "Oh, is this your first time too? Me too, high five." And
Yeah,
then look
yeah,
at that,
yeah,
you've made a friend.
yeah. One of the best things to do is try and find that common ground in the sense of like, don't necessarily be like, oh my God, I'm so nervous, but like tell them, like, this is my first time. Like, have you spoken to anyone else? Like, the nerves are creeping up. Be slightly vulnerable and they'll be able to, they'll look at you more of a person, especially for
Yeah.
university. There are thousands of new students, there are hundreds of new students. So if you can humanize yourself a bit more to that one person, I think that you'll develop a better first impression and a better friendship. And
Mhm.
also, meeting these people so important because then they can introduce you to your friends. I
Mhm.
My person, she started introducing me to her friends after a while, and so by developing that one good strong connection, and I think this is a good way to bring in quality over quantity. By developing that one good relationship and good friendship with that one person, you are going to gain way more better friends out of that person. Friends who are similar to you as well. Because if you're friends with this friend, then obviously their friends are gonna be in the similar minds as you. You know what I mean?
Mhm. I know what you mean. Um, I've always had like, okay, I actually went through like a stage where I didn't have really good friends, but I had this one friend and she's actually in my school. Um, we have a very similar like kind of things that we like and things. She's actually my Model UN partner in most of the Model UN things that I do. Yes. So we ended up becoming really good friends, and I then became friends with her friends, and now we have this giant group, and we all have such similar mindsets. We are all basically most of us are in music as our major, which is a 200-hour course, one of our subjects. We all love music. It's just something we can all relate to, It's something we can just talk to each other about. A couple of my friends also do Model UN or debating or something, so we just have that common ground there. It's just like finding people who have the same interests as you is so important when you're trying to build good friendships, and having one friend is always better than having a whole bunch of friends who aren't necessarily good, or like not good, but like that don't have the same interests as you. You don't feel involved with.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, 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 yeah. Like now I'm going back home. And I used to stress about the fact that, oh my gosh, I don't have that many friends in South Africa, like the town that I live in. It's so daunting. Like I don't have that group of friends. I now going home, going with into the mindset of, okay, I have 1 or 2 people that I can build my relationship with better. It doesn't even have to be both of those people. I have one person in mind who I'm like, okay, if I go home and make more of an effort and try and get to know them better and see if like a good friendship can develop between us, then like I'll be set for my gap year. I If I just have that one person who occasionally, game nights, movie nights, go out, like, just like to seeing someone lifts up. I'm the type of person who gets my adrenaline from people. I can be home the entire day, absolutely no energy, drained from doing absolutely nothing. The moment I'm able to speak to someone, all of my energy just comes back. I am like such a happier person. I thrive off of like speaking to people. And so by just having and trying to develop this one friendship, I have a few childhood friends at home. But now I realize that, okay, maybe there's not necessarily a good friendship. You know, we have a friendship, but not necessarily a good friendship with them. If I just can develop this one trustworthy person, if I can build this relationship with this one trustworthy person, then I will be set and I won't feel that instant loneliness that I normally feel when I go home.
I really like that. Um, it's also like kind of crazy to see that change because like last week you were so worried about how to make friends, but your mindset shifted so much in that one week, which is crazy good.
Also,
And I
this
really like that.
conversation making me realize.
Can we okay, this is like a great way to kind of end this off. What was your first impression of me?
Oh my gosh, I wanted to add that in like the breakdown structure. I was like, oh my gosh, we're talking about friendships and like that person. That's like such a good, you know. Okay,
Mhm.
you had a pretty, that's why when you told me that you had social anxiety, I was so shocked because I remember throughout like our meetings and everything, my first impression of you was so good in the sense of damn, this girl. And I remember you saying that you were young. You were like, I think the youngest intern out of everyone. So
Mhm.
I was like, damn, she's like the youngest intern. She is in this group with like all of these people who are like 2, 3, even 4 years older than her. And she has all of this confidence and like she is
Mhm.
interacting so much in like the meetings and she has like opinions. And I was like, this is like honestly so amazing. That's why when I was thinking of like one of the first people to co-host, your name came to my mind. I'm not even gonna lie. I like drew up a list of people who I wanted to ask and like, but you messaged me first. I was gonna message you if you didn't message me. Your name was like on the top. It was like one of the first people who I thought of.
When I met you first, okay, I'm gonna be so honest, I barely paid attention to any of the interns we were working with, like, genuinely, I'm so sorry to say it,
Really, you
but I
are
feel like
really
we
good at
didn't have
faking this. Even with your speech, dude, you seem so interested. You seem so involved in the meetings. I was sitting there like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. You were like
I was so
active. I
tired.
was like, damn.
No, I feel like I genuinely had stuff to say in those meetings, even though they were so late. Usually, they'd go from, like, 11 to 12 a.m., and I would be, like,
Yeah,
so dead tired. But it's okay, it's okay. Those were good times. But when I first met you on like this thing, I was so nervous. I was just like, whew, I don't know how she's gonna act. I feel like after that meeting, the first one, I felt like I did so bad after the first
really?
interview. Yes, I felt like I did horribly. I was like, I know she's nice, but is she the kind of nice where I can like joke around and get away with it, or do I have to act sophisticated? Because
Oh
I
no
don't know,
no no no
I'm
no no no.
asking for people, so yeah. Now I
This
know that I can joke around with you, and you're gonna be fine with it, like Austin and stuff. But at that moment, I was like trying to figure out what kind of a person you were to try and adapt. But yeah, I'm happy I can be myself around you as well. I
damn.
really like doing the podcast too because we really get into really nitty-gritty aspects of our life, and I really like how you like put out the briefs and do have a plan, not necessarily a plan, but like know exactly what
Just
to
like
target.
the
Like it's
structure.
really
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
good.
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I'm just trying. I'm not a perfectionist, but like I want it to be as best as I can. So like if there's anything
Yeah.
else that we can like change or like adjust in any way, you should let me know because I'm like free to so many any suggestions.
This is why people should watch this podcast. I'm just saying, just saying.
Every
Hmm.
episode is just gonna be better, like conversation wise. Even if sometimes we might get off topic, like I hope that every person that listens fully will like walk away with a better idea of like international students. Because again, that's like the main idea of this, is to talk about and
Yeah.
address those topics like the social anxiety and like finding your person even though you're like moving to a different country. What's a takeaway from this?
Oh,
Like a bit of maybe advice, like a bit of a takeaway you took out from this episode, or just like to anyone who's looking for their person or finding that person or losing that person. Damn.
That's
Yeah.
actually a really good topic. We should get into that some other time.
Yeah, next episode could be about, having to deal with
The
leaving
loss
as
of
an
friendships.
international student, the loss of friendships. Yeah.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, general advice, like I said, get into clubs because that's so important as an international student. You'll really find your person. I don't know about other countries, but in Australia, especially USyd, UNSW, ANU, because those are the three I really want to go to. They have clubs where it's like specific to where you're from, right? Like you could be okay. So one of my friends, he's from Thailand, and there's a club in his university for just people from Thailand,
Yeah, for Thailand.
and
Yeah,
he goes
exactly.
to there. He goes to them, and he's made so many friends. He goes to the Christian club as well as clubs for different religions as well. Like
Yeah,
if
and
you're
like we were
Hindu, for
talking about
example, like
last
me.
episode about like home, these clubs also are gonna help you feel so much more at home, It's gonna bring in a bit of
Yeah,
that hominess into the new university life by being around these
yeah.
people. Yeah,
Another thing is if you're at student accommodation, do all of the different um what do you call it activities that they run. I know at my dream university, they are running like different sporting events. They're going and doing like nighttime events. Like if you were to go to what like they have like in the campus concerts and things. They have that at my school right now. They do concerts at nighttime where the students are performing, right? So it's really good engagement. You should go perform, by the way. Like if you're good at performing and things. Um, and if you do find that those things also don't work out, talk to people in your lecture. Like I know it's like very last minute kind of thing, but if you
yeah.
if you sit next to somebody, talk to them. Like they're right
Yeah,
there
yeah,
next to
do
you.
not
They could be
any
your person.
single time you are in uni or just school as an international student, anytime you sit next to someone or you are at like a decent distance with someone, say hello. If you say hello and you like get a vibe that like they don't want to talk, then that's okay. You said hi, that's fine, but always say hello. Always make those connections, because even if they don't become like your immediate friend, it's nice to have that friendly face around. It's nice to, going to
Yeah.
the cafeteria, going to buy food, you see them, you're just like hi, like, even if you don't even have like a friendship with them, just having that mutual understanding of like, oh, I know that person, is gonna help you feel
Mm,
so much less alone, because now like so many more people on
yeah.
campus.
I'll be so honest. Most of the people I have like made friendships with, I've had to talk to first. Like it sounds so crazy because I do struggle with anxiety, but like no one really walks up to me to talk to for some reason. Maybe they're like scared. No. But I've always gone up to them and I've been like, "Oh my god, hi! You're doing so good." Even if it's like at a Model UN conference, because I mainly meet people through there. I'm like, "You're doing so good," and they're like, "Oh my god, thank you! You're doing so good too." And it'll just flow into a conversation. So like, yeah, just step out a little bit. Try and talk to as many people as you can, even if you never talk to them again, and you know you'll never talk to them again. Just still talk to them.
Effort now, I think, after moving here, I've made it a conscious effort to where if I make eye contact with someone or if I'm passing someone, I'm gonna say hi, I'm gonna wave, I'm just gonna be as friendly as you can. This is not the time to stay in your box. Step out of your comfort zone, because if you don't do it on like the first day, if you don't do it the first week, then like truly it's gonna be even more difficult to do like later on.
Now I really have to take this advice in like 3 years' time.
No, really, dude. Seriously, like the amount of like mutual relationships that I have built with these people just by saying hi. And then sometimes you'll have like a opportunity where you'll get to like actually talk. Like for me, if I'm like smiling, saying hi to them like every morning, whatever, then we happen to have a free period in the library. I already know that person. Oh my gosh, hi, I didn't know like you had a free period, and boom, automatic relationship formed.
Yeah,
For me, I would
definitely.
say don't, and I hope that you understand the context when I say this. don't necessarily prioritize making that big group of friends, because I know people
Mm.
who they'll get close to that to one person, and they'll find like a good decent person who understands them, and like they have similar um mindsets and perspectives and experiences, and then they get invited to, or they get an opportunity to hang out with like a group of other people, and completely ditch that first person. Don't do that. Don't just, if you have the opportunity to be friends or be part of like a bigger group, do not throw aside that first person that you meet on the first day. Truly keep close to the first person that you meet. Don't just toss them aside. Be kind. And yeah, we mentioned a few things this episode, so next episode could honestly be about anything, whether it's loss of friendships, whether it's adjusting to new school life. We will see. That was a good episode.
That
And
was a good
we'll
episode.
see you next week. Bye.